FightHype.com. Sean Zattel here with the great Timothy Bradley.
What's up, man?
Of course, former two division champ and
Yeah, man.
arguably the best commentator in the game, along with his co-partner Dre.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Tim, you were very vocal heading into this fight for Valdez. The fight goes on despite the positive test. Just how disappointed were you in Valdez? This is one of the fighters you really enjoy in boxing.
Yeah,
and by the situation.
I mean, to be honest with you, Valdez is a very nice kid. You know, I've known him for some time now, followed him his career, caught many of his fights. I think the frustrating part here is the fact that nothing was done. You know, nothing was done, and that's the biggest issue. So, you know I was very critical on him, and you know, in hopes that he gets knocked out and the whole nine. You know, and sometimes I'm not gonna lie, sometimes my anger, it just because how emotional I am being a fighter. You know, training. You know, dedicating yourself to the sport, doing things the right way. You know, never cutting corners. Always being just, you know, down to the T when I was training to know what I was actually putting in my body. You know, I would, you know, send things out. I would call Vada. I would, you know, call him personally and say, hey, I want to take this T. What do you think? Is it clean? You know, I would always figure out a way to know what I'm actually putting outside my body. And that's the reason why I went with one of the best companies that I believe is for any athlete is USANA, Health Sciences. So any athletes out there that's looking for something that's, you know, homegrown, I would say, or built in-house. There's no third parties. They don't export anything in or send anything made in a different lab like they do it in Utah. USANA is probably the best and the cleanest product that I've ever used in my entire career, and I trust them. So I was on the athletic program with them, and at that time, I don't know if they're doing it now, they would give me up to $1 million up to my purse. You know, if I test positive with anything in my system, if I take their vitamins. So, you know, there's no companies out there that's backing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is the reason why I went with them, and I've never got popped for anything. And so the issue that I have is that many fighters that are abusing or using, now they have a loophole. They feel that they have a loophole because if they're allowing, WBC is allowing, and the commission here in Arizona is allowing them to go ahead and let this fight happen, then a lot of other athletes are going to be like, you know, shoot, you let Valdez, you gave him a pass, you gave Valdez a pass, you know, like, what the heck, you know what I'm saying? And then a lot of guys are going to think that, well, it's not in competition, right? It's not in competition, so then it's a slippery slope. So that's the biggest issue that I have with this fight. And, you know, I would also say this, you know, if I could, I'm hired by ESPN, I have to call this fight, I have to do my job. But if I could, I wouldn't want to call this fight. But the fact of the matter is, truth of the matter is that I have a job to do. And, you know, I thought about it. I thought about not calling this fight, you know, and kind of boycott this fight. But at the same damn time, I thought to myself, I said, well, I've never ran from anything in my life. Mm-hmm. Maybe a couple of dogs in the neighborhood, you know. But
we won't count that.
But I'm just saying, I've always been a man of my word. You know, I mean what I say most of the time when I talk. Or when I say something, and I'll back it anytime. I don't run from a man. I don't run from anything. And why should I run away from this? You know, I'm gonna be on the broadcast. I'm gonna call this fight. It's my job. I have to. So this is the reason why I'm here today. So other than that, I still feel the same way. But what I said, I hope it doesn't go well, because if it does go well, and he looks spectacular and he gets a beautiful knockout or something like that, then, you know, you already know where it's gonna go. Everybody's gonna say, whoa, he's, you know, this, he's on that, he's on this. And I think that if Valdez, he wants to clear his name, I honestly think he should do the hair follicle. He should give the hair follicle and get the sample out and get tested and clear his name. You know, if he's saying that it was from a T, okay, prove it. What T is it? Mm-hmm. You know, give a little bit more information. You know, be a little bit more open about it and to clear your name. But if you're not, that's a big issue. That's a red flag for me.
Speaking of clearing his name, Tim, is he in the situation now where it's like, you gotta fight a Herring Stevenson winner and gotta beat him to fully clear your name? You know what I mean? Because I think most people would believe he tests fine for the winner of that fight, that everything's on the up and up. So would you see that as a chance for him to really redeem himself? He can't do it tomorrow night.
Well, I can just tell you this. I think the thing is that we easily forget things. You know, just us being just being human. You know, a year from now, no one's going to be talking about this. Maybe a few people. 2 years from now, nobody's going to really talk about
Saw
this.
that with Canelo.
You know, that's just exactly.
Right.
So we easily, boxing fans and just people in general, just forget things and, you know, their successes or whatever they do leading coming forward in their careers. It overshadows whatever that happened in the past. So as long as, I would say this, as long as everybody staying true, meaning the WBC, meaning, you know, promoter, meaning the fighter, if they stand true.
Good fighter behind you,
and
too.
they're going through. Oh, I was like, who on? I was like, I don't want that.
It's a bad young man. What's up, Gabe? What's up, guys? What's up, Gabe?
Shit, chillin'.
What's up, man?
Done eating real fast.
As long as everybody's doing the right thing, man. As long as everybody's doing the right thing. You know, the BC has definitely dropped the ball. You know, they dropped the ball here. And
Like, what does this really mean for boxing? Because I'm so used to it, Tim, that it's like, okay, he tests positive. I wasn't surprised the fight still went on. Is there going to be a straw that broke the camel's back moment with this stuff? You know, what's it really
only in
mean?
boxing, man. This is the Wild Wild West, bro. There's no national body, governing body that's protecting anybody. You know, this is just what it is. Everybody for themselves. They found a loophole in the system as far as the, you know, WADA, going with WADA protocol. You're a WBC athlete now. You're a champion for the WBC, so you know that they go with VADA.
Right.
This is their own protocol that they're breaking. They're breaking their own rules. You know, I remember when I was even in the top 15 for the WBC, I had to sign something stating basically that I would do the, you know, involuntary drug testing. I would just, you know, anytime I had to, in order to be in the top 15, I had to do it. I had to sign on the dotted line, and they can come and test me, and then we use VADA protocol. So if anything that's
To
illegal,
get that Alexander fight.
exactly,
Right.
I had to.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I had to be on that. So,
Right.
but the fact of the matter is that they're breaking their own rules or not, you know, doing what they, you know, put in place. It's a slap in the face once again for boxing, and once again, WBC. Hey, we back Canelo, we beat crooks, whatever you want to call them. That's just what it is, man. It's wrong. It's not right for boxing. Doesn't do anything good for boxing. And if this continues, boxing's going to continue to be the laughingstock, man. And you're going to continue to see the Jake Pauls and, you know, the Holyfields and everybody coming back and doing whatever the hell they want to do.
Tim, tough question to ask.
What?
But you'll tell the truth about.
What's up?
Do you suspect Canelo as well? Still?
I don't know. I can't. I don't have
Just
any grounds.
because what happened with Valdez, now everyone's like that whole.
Well,
camp,
I just don't have. I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't have any grounds to say that.
Right.
I don't have any grounds to say that, and I do think that Canelo did give the hair follicle.
That's what Victor Conte said
So-
yesterday, that he gave a hair follicle to the Nevada Commission, right? Like
so-
you're telling Valdez.
Yeah,
to
do the hair follicle, clear your name up. You know, that way they can see how far back that you've been doing this, and maybe they'll see something else in there. You know, you never know. So I think that's the biggest thing he needs to do to clear his name up. Give that hair follicle, get that sample out. You know, let them do what they do. Researchers need to do what they need to do, so that way, you know, you can talk to the fans and let us know, you know, what's that, you know, if he's clean or not. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it just was just that time, at one time. So, but as far as Canelo goes, I could just tell you this. Canelo used to get tired. I remember, man, I'm telling you, he used to get tired. You know, and you know, this is a guy with 40-something fights at the time. He used to get tired. He got tired in the Danny Jacobs fight. He got tired in a couple fights beforehand. You know, I know that was some time ago, a few years ago, but he would get tired second half. You know, in the first Triple G fight, he got tired. But then now all of a sudden, this dude walking guys down. This guy is not getting tired anymore. This guy is actually knocking out guys now, breaking faces. You know, and so it just raises a flag. That's all I can tell you. I wouldn't say that he is. I won't say that he is, but I'm just saying, you know, I think the facts are there, and these are the findings, you know, and I just think it's kind of odd. So we'll see. Caleb Plant fight, we'll see.
What do you think of Andre working with Caleb now?
It's a great look.
Does that make Caleb's chances go up? Or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Andre's definitely going to be going to give him a game plan. Going to help get him a really good game plan. Tighten up the areas where he's weak, where he's weak at, some of the flaws that he has in his game. He's going to need to, honestly. He's going to definitely need to. I saw a lot of the same flaws that Andre sees, I'm sure. And Plant will have a better chance. Plant will have a better chance of beating Canelo if he tightens up in certain areas. Defensive flaws. It's more defensive. I see him get hit with right hands quite often. He drops his hands quite a bit. He likes to hang out along the ropes sometimes. How to deal with pressure. Oscar Valdez was pressuring him, was getting to him in the second half of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He got to be aware of that. Canelo's going to try to, use defense against, make him miss. The same way he's going to try to do Canelo, but Canelo's not going to get tired. And he better be in the best shape of his life because
He'll have to fight him in spots, right?
The second half of the fight is when Canelo's going to come on, and he's going to come on strong, and then that's where, those little technical things that I see that Plant is lacking, with his defense, it's going to come into effect. So, work on the second half of the fight. The first half, I think Plant will be all right. I think he'll be all right. I think he's quick. I think, he's a great mover. He's a good thinker.
He can get off.
He can get off. He feints a lot. I mean, he does a lot of great things that can offset Canelo in his game. But the second half is where he's going to, he's going to have to, Canelo's definitely going to try to break him down to the body. He's going to be looking for that left hook. He's going to be trying to feint him, getting him out of position, look for the overhand right, because that's the punch that I see landing a lot is the overhand for Canelo. That's an area that I think, Dre's definitely going to tighten up as well. He does those things, he can better have a chance of beating him, man. But shoot, how do you work on the back end? Start swimming, and then start swimming, do some swimming, incorporate at least one swim day where you're going back and forth doing laps and exercising in the pool. Another way to get that endurance is train before you spar. So, that's
not
working
after.
on the back end. No, not after, not before.
A lot of guys do that. They'll spar and then hit the bag.
Yeah,
Right.
That's normal. That's normal because you want to be full. You want to have all your energy when you're sparring.
Right.
That's the right time. But if you do it flip-flop it, you train first, do your pit bag work, everything. Now you're fatigued. Now you get in the ring. Now you got to really think. Now you really got to bring your end game, and that's the way you work on the back end of the fights.
Learn how to fight exhausted, like Emmanuel used to say.
Exactly.
Right? Gotcha.
You have to, and that will help him, man. But yeah, I'm glad Ward is helping him out, man. I mean,
We couldn't get Ward Canelo like you wanted, but we're getting Ward in the same ballpark as Canelo.
You know what, man? I've been studying Plant. Plant, he puts his punches together, his combinations together very, very well, man. And he doesn't telegraph his punches, and that's awesome. Like, that's hard. Like, a lot of guys, we'll load up and we'll telegraph. Like, when we shoot the jab, we'll cock it, then shoot it. Like, when his punches come out, they're smooth. They're sharp, crisp, got some pop on it, and he's very defensively sound, got some good legs. So, I give him a really good chance in competing with Canelo and possibly beating him. But that second half is where things are going to heat up for him, and he better be ready. He better be ready physically and mentally, man.